we're still hitting those muscle groups from different angles and activating different muscle fibers, even though they're all on our back. Hey guys, Mark McKillier with Live Anabolic, and today I've put a pull workout together for you. And by pull, what we really mean is basically just your back and your biceps. And the way we come up with that terminology is basically when you're pulling something, in whatever direction, you're only really using primarily your back and your biceps. And the biceps are actually a really secondary muscle group. All right, you're not even using your biceps all that much. And that's the reason why in today's pull workout, I only got 3 exercises. Only one of them is for your biceps. The other 2 target your back. Now remember, your back is a big muscle group. I think there's 17 different muscles in your back. And if we were really focusing on just a back workout, I would do more than just 2 exercises. But this is a pull workout. And a lot of guys like to break up their weekly workout routines into push and pull. And you might do 2 push workouts per week and 2 pull workouts per week with a day of rest in between them. Everybody likes to do it differently. But today it's just a real straightforward pull workout, only 3 exercises. But I want you to do 3 to 4 sets on each exercise before moving on to the next exercise. And then of course, there's a lot of studies out there, but they say the honey hole for maximum muscle growth is 8 to 12 reps. And when you pick that rep range, guys, it means you have to select a resistance with your bands that means it's going to be extremely difficult to get to that rep range between 8 and 12, meaning you need to be close to failure, all right? So if you pick a certain number of color bands here and you do a set and you get to 12 reps and you stop and you go, man, that was kind of easy, means you didn't push yourself hard enough, means next set, add some resistance to your bands. So you need to figure out where that sweet spot is on every band exercise. And I really recommend you guys just write it down, just take some notes, because it sure is a pain trying to remember how many bands and what color combination of bands that is perfect for you on every exercise, because every exercise is going to be different. Okay, so first exercise today, we're gonna target our back, and we're gonna do lat pull downs. All right, so man, I'm actually not using enough resistance here if I was doing a really serious workout, but I'm just picking something that I can use really good form and still talk to you guys with. All right, so sit all the way down on your butt. All right, I got the anchor at the top of the door. And the reason I've moved away from the door is because I want there to be some resistance, some pre-stretch in these bands. So at the very beginning of the movement up here, I already have some resistance, okay? If I was sitting too close to the door, I'd have almost no resistance, all right? So I just, you can cross your legs, whatever feels good for you. And I'm just gonna focus on bringing my elbows down and as far back as I can get them. So I'm not really worrying so much about the handles. I'm really focusing my mind-muscle connection on those elbows. So at the bottom, I really try to squeeze my back. You'll feel the muscles in your back, your lats, your rhomboids, really tense up. And then resist that movement, or resist the bands on the way up too, because this upward part of the motion here is just as important as the contraction phase right here. So this is way too easy for me, guys. If I had to, I could probably do 100 of these. But if I was really working out in the way I want you to do it, you need to add more resistance so that when you get to 8, 10, 12 reps, it's really starting to burn. All right, that's the key. All right, exercise number 2 is our biceps. So I like to alternate the muscle groups. So instead of doing 2 back exercises, one after another, and then finishing up with biceps, I think it's better to spread those apart. So we start with the back, we go to a bicep, and then we're going to end with a back exercise. So exercise number 2 are just some banded curls. And I like using my feet as the anchor. You could actually put the anchor under the door, all right, you know, at the lowest point. But this is really straightforward and easy. And of course, it may sound obvious, but make sure your bands are equal length on both sides. And this is, there we go. And you're just going to have to kind of move them back and forth, you know. And, you know, there we go. Pretty straightforward there. All right. Just the same thing as we would be doing with dumbbells, except we're doing them with resistance bands. Get that, you know, you can really kind of focus because this is a concentration movement here. We're focusing on just one tiny little muscle group, your biceps. Some of you guys might be able to feel it better by actually looking at the muscle that you're working. But try to keep your elbows in one location at the side of your body there. You don't need to be bringing them up like this. I see a lot of guys at the gym doing this when they're using a barbell. But this is a really effective movement at home. And you're going to start feeling your biceps start to burn. That's that lactic acid building up. And then you get the great pump because all the blood is being forced into that muscle. All right, so for our third and final exercise, we're going to go back and start targeting our back. Like what I did there. Anyway, the first back exercise we did was a pull down, all right? Now, this is going to be a row. They both activate a lot of different muscles in our back, but they do it from a different angle, which means we're recruiting slightly different muscle fibers. And that's the key. A lot of variety when you're hitting these muscle groups, guys. All right. This is also an exercise where we're using a bunch of really big, strong muscles. And that means, once again, you can use a lot of resistance bands here. All right. So make sure you load up with enough resistance that it's difficult to get to the 8th, 10th, maybe 12th rep. All right. You get to 12 and you know you can do another 4, 5, 10. It's too easy. On your next set, add some resistance. All right, so you got to move away from the anchor, remember guys, such that at the beginning of the movement, you already have some resistance here, okay? All right, now you can cross your legs. There's several different ways you can do this. All right, lean back, straight forward, but I got to move back here to get a little more because I don't have enough bands on here. Basically, if I was really doing a real workout, I'd have to load this up with more resistance. All right, but this is for demonstration purposes. So here we go. I kind of like this cross-legged position, but it doesn't matter. You can have your legs out in front of you. That's not what's important. The important thing is this part of the movement here. Just like with those lat pull-downs we were doing earlier, these rows, you want to concentrate on your elbows. I know it may sound kind of goofy. You may think, hey, I'm just pulling the handles back. Well, yeah, you are, but if you can focus on your elbows and getting those back behind you as far as possible, all right? And then you may have to hold it for a 2 count before you release to make it hard enough, okay? That's another thing, guys. If you realize that you're so strong that you can do all the resistance bands, hold it back there. Hold it at the top of the movement. Squeeze as hard as you can for 2 seconds and then slowly release. So basically, we're still working a lot of the back muscles, and there's going to be some overlap in the muscles with the first exercise when we were doing the pull downs, but we're still hitting those muscle groups from different angles and activating different muscle fibers, even though they're all on our back. The more exercises you can do for the same muscle group, the better. And remember, you need to do at least 3 sets of this, guys, and you only need about 60 seconds rest in between sets. So this workout shouldn't take very long. You can probably knock out all 3 exercises in 15, 20 minutes max. And then, guys, You did a fantastic pull workout. Very straightforward. You used a set of $20 bands that you got off of Amazon, and you did it at home. You didn't have to drive to the gym and then drive home. Think how long that is, especially during rush hour. You did a good workout in 20 minutes. And then finally, remember, you got to stick with it and never give up on yourself.